I wish I had embraced journaling at a young age. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, a podcast about life, looking at life from a new perspective to gain wisdom and understanding in hopes to know yourself more. I have tried to journal several times over my life. It is something that I just can't seem to make myself do. And I really just have to do it. I have to add it to my schedule. I have to sit down and start writing my thoughts and feelings for the day, my hopes for myself, and what I'm really feeling. Life is just a series of cycles. And sometimes we repeat these cycles. And I feel like being able to look back at how I was feeling and what I was thinking and what I was hoping for maybe would provide some clarity right now. I always held this fear if I wrote my thoughts and feelings down that someone would find them and someone would use them against me. And that really speaks a lot to me not really having a place where I felt safe. I didn't feel safe to write those sensitive, vulnerable parts about myself, because if somebody found them, and my ex-husband did, and he found them and he was trying to use them against me, and I think that's one of our biggest fears is if we put some of these words onto paper, we don't feel safe enough with the people around us. That if they found our journals, they wouldn't understand and they wouldn't support us and they wouldn't create a space for those fears to simply just reside. Even when I look back to my journey during my marriage, and there were periods in there where I was writing on a regular basis. I was writing a gratitude journal. And then there were times where I was writing true feelings. And when someone finds those and tries to exploit you with that information, it's extremely hurtful. It is just another wound in the relationship that will eventually need to be healed. And it's interesting when I think about that situation and I think about him and how he was looking for answers. Yet I was speaking those words to him. And he didn't take my words at face value. He diminished all that I was feeling, but yet he took the words on the paper in a different context. And so I stopped writing. I stopped putting my feelings, what I was going through, my experiences. I stopped making notes of my life. Now I really wished I had maintained that. I wish I had maintained keeping a journal. There was so many things that I got myself through. There were so many situations that felt like they were the end of the world. And now, looking back, I wish that I could go back to each one of those experiences and say, yeah, I did. I figured it out. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what the next step was. But you know what? I figured it out and I got through it. I wish I had documented those experiences, if nothing else, than to look at them now and celebrate what I did get through, what I did push through, what I did figure out and make happen. I can celebrate my whole journey. I mean, I can do it without journal entries. I can do it without documenting every step. I just think sometimes having the raw emotions on the paper would be helpful for everyone else in the journey. I remember watching a movie several years ago, and it was The Bridges of Madison County. Meryl Streep was in it. And a short synopsis of the movie is she has an affair one summer with Clint Eastwood. She documented and wrote about that situation and wrote about her feelings and her life and what it meant and her kids found it after she had passed. It's interesting how some of the people that are closest to us, they don't really know us. Either we aren't showing up in our authentic self, or so many people have their own version of us that they create the mom or the sister or the person that they need in their life to make it work, and they don't see you. And I think we all do that. We all see people as we need them to be, not as who they are. Part of me wants to look back at the younger version of myself as well, to see what that version of me was thinking and what was going on. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where we need to be celebrating our journey. We need to be talking about it. We need to be realizing how strong and powerful we are, how we do have so much more inside of us than we don't even realize. We don't even realize until we look back what we've accomplished, what we're capable of. We so often shrink down our abilities. It isn't until words are expressed on a piece of paper that sometimes people don't even see who we are. Our kids don't see who we are. Our spouses don't see who we are until they read words on a paper, until they realize there is so much more to us than the small, limited amount they see and know. At the end of the movie, the grown kids were struggling to come to terms with the words they read on the paper. They were struggling to come to terms to seeing their mother as a person, not just their mother. That is, I think, one of our lessons here is to see each other and not in the roles that we need people to play, but we see them as simply who they are. We try so desperately to keep people in a role, whether it's your significant other, whether it is your child, whether it is your parent, we want them to remain in a traditional role instead of seeing them as the individual person that they are. I feel like I unpacked a lot here today because I simply was going to start out with just talking about documenting my life and wanting it to celebrate everything that I have moved through and appreciate the strength and the courage and the fortitude that I've had. But then it just has taken into, there's so many layers into life and how we live and how we love and how we show up. We are so much more than the roles we play. We are so much more than the words we do or we don't say, and we're so much more than people even know. My wish for you today is to celebrate all that you are, no matter what others tell you you are. Thank you for listening to this podcast of Tracy Talks. Please like and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. And until next time, we meet again.